Hello, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and I finished my granny shrug. It's kind of hard for me to give you a good view of it because how I have my camera and how big. But I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a peek standing up, and then I'll get to the video and start talking. There's your sec. So I finished this yesterday evening. I've basically followed Mikey's pattern. The things I changed is instead of doing, I think I did 7 rows of double crochet around, and I think he says something like 3 to 5. But I'm kind of busty, so in order for it to get to close over here, I needed a little more. I did close it with a button because it keeps rolling, as you can see. And I think I'm going to put one more button here. Then I only did, they said to go 8 inches down for the sleeve, and I did 10. And then I only did 1 row of double crochet and 1/2 double crochet because I don't really like really long. And to be honest, I felt it looked a little weird on the girl in his picture with the sleeve like down to here. But overall, I wore it to work. It's really warm and comfy. Everyone at work complimented me on it, so I must have looked okay. This is the first time I've made something for myself that is like a wearable item. Usually it's scarves, shawls, hats that I made. I did make a poncho last year, and I wear that quite a bit because it's freezing. I mean, I live in Wisconsin. I will say it's awkward to wear with a coat, which I had to because, believe it or not, it's raining right now. So I had to wear it for the sake of the hood. But I really feel like, because I'm a warm person, I feel like I could wear this. If I'm just hopping from my car that's in the garage and driving to a store and going from the store from the car, I feel like I could wear this without a coat. Probably not like negative 20 degrees, but you know, the basic, if it's 5 or 10 degrees, I could probably manage that. So yeah, this is my big finished object. I started working on this, I have no idea when. Well, whenever I watched Rose's video, so maybe like a week ago. Maybe this took me 5 days. Yeah. Maybe I started this New Year's Day, I feel like. So yeah, that's really what I have there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff back here I wanted to show you all. I did just today put public on my YouTube channel a little short video about a yarn shop I went to on Saturday. And this is what I got at the yarn shop. Now, I will tell you, I could have bought $100 or more worth of stuff. She has a lot of yarns from England, Scotland, a lot of dyed, like this is dyed in Wisconsin. She's got a lot of folks that are local that do dyeing. She told me a lot of information. I'm going to be honest, I can't retain it all, and I did not take notes. There's some local Wisconsin guy that makes these things that kind of look like a dreidel, but they're not, where you can take wool that has been cleaned from a sheep, stretch it out, and then you spin this little thing, and you can make your own yarn. I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's a little tedious, but if that's what you're looking for. So she sells those from this guy in Wisconsin that makes those. She sells the wool that has been cleaned and prepared. And I think one of the ones she had there was even dyed. So she sells that. So if you wanted to buy that little spinning thing and make your own yarn, you can get that stuff from her. She also sells, and I was pretty excited about this, she had yarn that you can dye yourself. Because that's something I thought I wanted to try. I don't want to be like a professional dyer or anything, but I just thought it'd be fun. I saw a YouTube video on how to dye yarn. So you can buy the naked yarn there to dye your own. She had a few items from Darn Good Yarn, a few yarn bowls, some of their yarn skeins, because she actually has written patterns for Darn Good Yarn before. She has a lot of notions, so some of those unique tools that you need for picking stitches or stitch markers or tapestry needles, she has all that. And then, like I said, she has like 3 or 4 different dyers from Wisconsin area that sell their stuff. The one I bought is called Yarn Sunday. She also sells her stuff on Etsy. It's called Whoville Christmas. It's a worsted weight, 100% superwash merino. And I'm not quite sure why it's called Whoville Christmas. There is a little bit of grain. Aside from the name, I thought this was really fun. So I bought this one. Then she also has some really reasonably priced acrylic. I mentioned that in the video. She has some Stylecraft, and then on one side she does have a few skeins that range from like, I want to say 6 to 14 that are acrylic. So she really has every type of yarn you can imagine. If you're someone who wants the thrill of shopping in a yarn shop and you only want to spend $4 for an acrylic skein, it's there. Or if you're someone who likes acrylic wools or superwash merino wools, hand-dyed yarn, she has that. She has some from Europe and Turkey. She really has quite a lot for such a small store. While I was there, besides getting this, I did finally purchase some Knit Picks blocking mats. Now, I've kind of been a little reluctant to buy these because I am mostly an acrylic crocheter. But now that I have Knit Crate, I did make that fruitridge scarf, and that one is rolling seriously. And I don't typically block anything because I don't want to waste my time doing that. Isn't that horrible? And I really, most of the time, don't block any acrylics. But that one needs to be blocked. If I'm going to make a shawl, I want to make another fruitridge out of this. That's going to need to be blocked. So I want to say this was $25, and there's 10 mats. The other reason I was kind of reluctant to buy one is because I know at one point we had the kid mats. You know how they have them for like daycares or playrooms, and you put them together and it gives you kind of like a foamy floor. At one point, we had enough to cover my daughter's small bedroom, but still at least 26 mats. And I guess in the process of moving from Sturgeon Bay down here to Oshkosh, we got rid of them. And I'm kind of disappointed by that. I was hoping that they were in a bin jammed in our storage, and I've kind of given up looking on them. I haven't found them. I haven't given up looking. I've completed looking. But I want to show you that this is what they are. There's 10 of these mats. And like I said, some people claim they even can get these at the Dollar Tree. But they're the kid ones. These are pretty thin. But you can also, I'm going to be honest, if you were to buy these from like the kids section, they're almost as much. And then sometimes the kid ones have cutouts in them. The one we had cutouts where you could poke out the letter A and a picture of an apple. So, I mean, I just finally bit the bullet and bought them. And it's really nice is because they're like puzzle pieces. If you need to make a square, or for me, because my shawl is so, or my scarf is so long, I can put a bunch of them together in a line. So these are very flexible. You can pretty much shape them to be whatever shape you need them. Like I said, there's 10. So I finally broke down and bought one of these. So I only spent about $50 in there. I could have spent way more. I think I had, you saw in the video, I pointed out to something that was a variegated creamy purple and blue yarn, and I really wanted to buy 3 of those. Those were $7 each. Then she had some yarn from Scotland that was kind of it was a soft wool, but still had a little bit of itch to it. But she bought, they were so pretty. And in fact, I'll try to put the pictures up on Instagram. And those were $14.95, and I wanted 4 of those. So I was like, wait a minute. You got all this back here. And I've been trying very hard to make projects out of my stash. I made an amigurumi out of my stash. I made those baby hats out of my stash. I made that scrap gan out of my stash. So I feel like every other project I do should be out of my stash. I feel like that's just how I should go. So that is what I got at the yarn shop, and it's called Fiber. She spells it F-I-B-R-E, but it's pronounced Fiber. Then I went to Hobby Lobby today because I was looking for some, as you all know, skin tones for Caucasian girls. Now, one of my lovely subscribers, I feel like on Instagram, sent me a picture of some cottons. I love this cotton. Guess what? They didn't have them. Then Llama Mama told me she used a certain kind of Crafter's Secret at Hobby Lobby. All they had was plain white for Crafter's Secret. Now, they had a real big jumbo skein of it, but they didn't have any. Can you believe that? I feel like, what is with this world and being against me finding some yarn? Now, I will say Hobby Lobby had plenty of peachy creams in other colors or other styles, but I just want a plain old acrylic worsted weight yarn. Because I feel like if I use a DK or a cotton, it's going to be a little different. So when I checked out, they're like, did you find everything all right? I said, no, I didn't. I came here for some of this Ivory Crafter's Secret that you don't have. I came for some skin tone. I love this cotton, and you didn't have that either. But I will say I did buy a lot of stuff there. I did buy Gypsy Rose's Hobby Lobby yarn. So now I feel like after I get this, I'll package this bit up, send it out to her. We're even. I should have just sent one large package because it's going to be the same anyway if I sent two small ones. But whatever. And I'm pretty excited about what I chose for Gypsy because she wanted Red Heart Super Saver. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to, rather than get lost up in all the types of yarn bee or whatever, I decided to get her Hobby Lobby's equivalent. I love this yarn. So I bought her 3 or 4 skeins that would go together if she wanted to make a shawl or a hat and scarf set or something. One of them was a variegated and some of them were plain so that if she wanted to use them for amigurumi or something else. So I really tried to choose, and then I did some stuff, I would put thought. That's what I'm trying to say. I was trying to be thoughtful with what I chose for her. Hopefully I can get those shipped by the end of the week, and then I'll be done for a while for yarn swaps. And then I think a gal in Ireland mentioned doing that with me, and so I will do that in a while. So besides, all the yarn at Hobby Lobby for me in Oshkosh is 30% off. Not a huge deal, but decent. So you'll have to wait and see from Gypsy what I bought for her from Hobby Lobby. Then the final thing that I bought was this loom. Thank you, Kayla from Llama Mama. Now, my daughter wants to knit or crochet, but she's just having a real hard time getting her hands to do it. I've given her big hooks, chunky yarn, little hooks. I've tried everything, and she tends to get pretty frustrated. So then when I came across, look at all that wonderful stuff that Llama Mama, Miss Kayla, is making, who I will say I stand by is a loom knitting expert. I thought, I'll buy this for Maddie. She can make a scarf, or she can make 2 panels or squares, and I can help her sew them together. And so she can make pillows, or 2 squares to make a pillow, or 4 squares to make a blanket, or just a really long scarf. I am going to have to YouTube how to basically loom knit because, as you know from my pom-pom makers, I have a real hard time understanding Yarnology's pictures when they try to explain something. For some reason, I just don't understand. I read it and I'm like, I feel like I just don't understand it. So I'm sure there's someone out there with a YouTube video on how to run this. And then I'm hoping that Maddie has a good time because she does this thing called finger knitting where she twists the yarns on her finger and then she pulls them over. And quite frankly, here I am, sounding like a meanie again. I think that's a waste of yarn. Because she's having fun, sure, knotting up her fingers, but what can she do? They're like this wide, they're kind of stretched out. I mean, she's not really getting to make something. So, because she likes to finger knit, I figured this loom is similar to the finger knitting, and we'll go with that. And I used my 40% off coupon. So this is regular price $9.99, so I used my 40% off of one regular priced item because all the yarn I bought was 30% off. Okay, and now, finally, the last thing. Because I've been crocheting like a mad woman lately, I decided to do some knitting. I'm finally making One Dog Woof's, One Dog Woof, I don't know. I'm finally making her shawl. I mentioned this quite a while ago when I was learning how to do her Adirondack wrap. This is called the New Path shawl. She has a Craftsy and an Etsy shop, but you have to look her up this way. I think that's her name. I don't know, I wrote that on there. This is a free pattern off of her blog, and I just type in one dog woof into Google, and it comes up right away. You can pay for that pattern if you want to buy it off Ravelry, or you can go to her blog. I am using my yarn from Bad Wolf Girl Studios. I've got wolves and woofs here. This is 70% merino superwash wool nylon stellina. It's called Galaxy LMC-N. My stepsister told me what that meant, and I don't know. I don't remember what she typed. But she said LMC stands for something. It is 462 yards, and it is a sock yarn. And here is my knitting. I'm knitting with it. I'm using my fun tool that I got from the Lost Sheep. And here is the start of it. My husband has been making fun of me the whole time because I'm so slow. And what I learned while I was at my yarn shop is how to nitpick. Although it's called something else, but the gal at the yarn shop called it nitpicking. Because typically, crocheters who knit usually hold their yarn in their left hand and knit. But it was hard for me because my left hand is useless. I can't train it to do hardly anything. So up till now, I've been throwing with my right hand. I knit and I throw. And it just takes forever. So the gal at the shop, Tori, her name is Victoria Dorn, but she goes by Tori, she showed me up close how to nitpick. And it's a way where you hold your yarn, just like if you're crocheting in your left, and then you take your hook and you just, or your other needle, and you just poke it through, and you snatch up that little, this one right here, and you pull it through. I will say, and my husband is right, that whether I'm throwing or nitpicking, it is extraordinarily slow. I could probably have had this crocheted in literally 2 minutes or so, and this has taken me an hour. And now I know, I'm a slow knitter. And now I feel like I also should rip it out and start over, because right here, can you friends see this? I dropped a stitch. And even though I have that fancy tool that you can scoop up in there and drag it out, I still have no idea how to do that. Real experienced knitters, crocheters, you're going to die. They can pull this stuff apart, reach down 2 or 3 rows, pull it up. I can't do that. So I'm thinking about pulling this out and just starting over. But this is what I'm working on. We'll see how long this takes me. I feel like because it's such beautiful yarn, I won't be as fussy, maybe, about how long it takes for me to knit. Because the last few times that I knitted something, I didn't love the yarn I was knitting. Because I was using that shawl and a cake from Lion Brand, and I chose a Sun Salutation, which aren't my colors. They were yellow, teal, and green. And so I was kind of like over that. And what did I knit last? I was knitting something. It took me forever. Oh, I thought I was knitting a shawl. I don't have anything. Oh no, I was knitting that scarf with this. With the Lion Brand, another Lion Brand yarn, which this was upsetting me. I'm fussy. This was upsetting me because the yarn kept twisting and it kept getting all snagged, so every time I had to straighten it out. So maybe if I knit with a color that I love, then maybe I will not feel so fussy the whole time I'm knitting. So that's what I'm hoping for. So check back with me in a month and maybe I'll have this done. Maybe I'll take a break and try something else in between. But that's it. That's all I've got going for me. This is my whip. This is my finished object. This might be my whip for a while. And if you live in Wisconsin, stop on over to the Nina Yarn Shop. There is something there for anybody. There's also macrame kits. There's stuff for tatting. She has, because she's open till 8 o'clock, a couple of nights, you can knit in her. She has knitting nights. She even has gals that come and play D&D at her big table while knitting. It seems like a really lovely place, and to be honest, I wish it was in Oshkosh. Because I don't like driving on the highway. In order to get there, I have to go on the highway. But that's it. Now that I made my video, I can cake up my yarn. Yeah, so that's it today, folks. Thanks for watching and subscribing and sharing my videos. And we've just got less than 100 more to the 4,000. And then I'll be giving away 2 of these, 2 Pantones. All right. That's all. Until then, happy crafting. Bye.